bad feeling about this.
It's here, everyone. Today is the day. The Acolyte is upon us. And I watched it so you don't have to. That's right. I took time away from not being able to get into the Destiny 2 servers to actually play, to go watch this show for you guys. And let me tell you something. It's just as bad as we thought it was going to be. There wasn't a whole lot to go off of, so I will be covering both episodes in this one video because there's only about maybe 45 minutes of actual show. Because there is a 45-second recap in the beginning of the second episode, and both end credits are about 8 minutes long. So these shows roughly come out to about maybe 25 to 30 minutes apiece. Keep in mind that the show costs $20 million an episode. But, without further ado, let us hop in to episodes 1 and 2 of The Acolyte. And that was my coverage of The Acolyte. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you all next time. Okay, not really, but in all seriousness, let's hop into it. First episode starts off with our mysterious assassin entering a cantina on a distant planet. And she walks up to Mastery Naba, played by Carrie-Anne Moss, who you may know as Trinity from The Matrix. We're then subjected to a martial arts scene between her and every single person in this bar, and not one of them decides to pull out a blaster. Well, one guy tries, but it gets stuck somehow. I hope none of you were expecting any lightsaber battles set in this High Republic era show where the Jedi are at their peak, because Jedi only use Kung Fu in this show. Also, you notice that she keeps reaching for people's lightsabers as she's fighting, despite the fact that she never actually is supposed to be using a weapon. It's stated later in the show that she's supposed to be killing these Jedi without using a weapon, but she does it every single time. I don't know why she's reaching for the lightsabers, it's never explained. We're then treated to this scene, which we saw in the trailer, where Carrie-Anne Moss blocks a knife with the Force. Some of you don't live in Britain, so you don't understand this. Knives are dangerous. They're very dangerous. In fact, if you get stabbed with one, it's very painful and can kill you. Some of you might not know this. You know, you think in a circumstance a Jedi would use their lightsaber to disarm someone, to keep them from stabbing somebody, or take a hostage, which she proceeds to then do. Now, some of you might not know this. In the Star Wars universe, Jedi are taught Form 1 of lightsaber combat, which is where you dismember people's limbs, because this is a universe where artificial limbs exist. So it's totally fine that if you have a deadly assailant, someone who is trying to kill you or other people, you cut off a limb to discourage them from doing that. That's what the lightsabers are for. That's what the first thing Jedi are taught, is how to disarm people. That goes back to the whole cutting off cauterizing wounds so that people don't bleed out. It goes back to that whole thing. Carrie-Anne Moss decides to not do that at all. And then she keeps getting attacked with a knife. She keeps pushing back with the Force and using Kung Fu, and then she keeps getting attacked. And not once does she think, I should probably cut off an arm just to stop her from doing this. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that, because that is the only time anyone uses a lightsaber for anything in these first two episodes. And then we were treated to this wonderful gem of a line.
A Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless prepared to kill.
I want you to pay attention to that, because not only does that not make sense in Star Wars lore, it doesn't even make sense in the show. And then this happens. Fuck off. Yeah, I hope you didn't get too attached to her character, because she dies 5 minutes into the show. Yeah, she may not have dodged that knife, but she certainly dodged a bullet by not being involved with the show anymore. You've seen Jedi Masters to survive hails of bullets. She couldn't stop one knife and deflect the second one. Fuck off. Then we immediately cut to another ship where we see what appears to be the same character. Although, if you've paid any attention to the show, you know by now that they're actually twins. So it turns out our main character, Osha, is actually a mechanic on a Trade Federation ship right now. Which is really weird because she says this line.
Shield generator repairs.
Trade feds never use the shields.
Possible. Nothing can get through our shield.
Who doesn't use shields if they have a shield generator? Trade Federation literally ships cargo through pirate spaces. They need shields. They need weapons too while they're at it. Fucking idiots. She then proceeds to talk about how she's not disposable and how she's really good at her job. She actually overloads a pressure valve and causes it to explode. I've seen birthday candles with more fire than that. This should have gone out in space. Fucking makes no sense. $22 million an episode, everyone. In fact, it's a fire that's so poorly fueled that she puts it out with fire extinguisher from her handheld droid. At this point in time, we're introduced to our one of our main characters, Yord Fandar, played by Charlie Barnett, who you may remember from such wonderful works as Arrow, I guess? You may know him as the guy who said twice on camera that Anakin is the one who blew up the Death Star. So Yord and his apprentice, whose name I don't remember because she only shows up in this one scene and then never shows up ever again, board the ship to arrest Osha because she's been implicated in the murder of the Jedi Master.
Look, I was trained to be a Jedi. When that didn't pan out, those skills aren't exactly transferable.
Which makes no goddamn sense. First of all, if you can move things with your mind and read people's emotions and sense the future and physically enhance your abilities, those skills are transferable. In fact, I'm sure the people who worked on this didn't know this, but the Jedi have a fallback plan for if you fail the academy. You go into the Ag Corps. You go into the Agri Corps, which is one of the 4 branches of service in the Jedi Order. You get to work with the Jedi Order still, even if you kind of flunk out of Jedi training. They don't just say, all right, fuck off. Go do whatever. No, she could have had a job. She could have stayed with the Jedi Order. The fact that she didn't is stupid and doesn't make any sense. And then they talk about the fact that the Jedi Order was concerned about her age when she joined, because she was 8 years old. Yeah, fun fact, Anakin was 9 when he joined, and they said he was too old. I don't remember Yoda in The Phantom Menace going, too old he is. But remember, make an exception one time we did for Girl in Mourning. You'd think the Jedi Order, after having one of their masters murdered, would find the potential killer, go, all right, we have our potential suspect in custody. Maybe we should escort them back with Jedi, just in case they try killing, because they're capable of killing a Jedi Master. Yeah, you'd be wrong. This is where the entire show starts to unravel. Because they just give her to a ship with 3 droids to transport her back to Coruscant. Where are they going? I have no idea, because the Jedi just don't go with her. They just leave. Then we're treated to this wonderful establishing shot right here. Yeah, no shit, it's Coruscant. For those of you who maybe just got into Star Wars and maybe haven't seen anything else, you probably wouldn't be able to recognize the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, the capital of the Republic. By the way, I hope you're getting used to this establishing text to let you know what planet we're on, because they do it for every single planet, even ones that they just told you they were going to. We then get to meet Jedi Master Vernestra Rwoh, who you might recognize from the High Republic comics, if you'd actually read them. But no one did, so you probably don't know who she is. Fun fact, she's played by Rebecca Henderson, who is Leslie Headland's wife, because nepotism never hurt anyone, especially not at Disney. Vernestra then talks to Master Soul, who you may recognize as Lee Jung-jae from Squid Games. By the way, this guy is the only one with any form of acting talent in this entire show, and he doesn't even speak English that well. Fucking unbelievable. Vernestra then talks to Master Soul about how discretion is important, and they should handle this on their own and keep it, within the Jedi Order. Which seems is a good plan, someone's killing Jedi, you want to handle this in-house. So you'd think they would have left the Jedi with the prisoner. She's actually put on a prison ship with 3 droids total. There's 2 autopilot droids who are literally just the chairs in the cockpit, and this 1 security droid. The prisoners then tell Osha that they're planning an escape. Planning is kind of a strong word, because really the plan is to use the cyborg guy they have in one cell, who apparently has the ability to rewire droids from a distance. Totally useful ability. You think they would have used that at any point in time, considering the fact that the ship is occupied entirely by droids. She then talks about how she has faith in the Jedi because, she didn't do anything wrong, and she believes that the Jedi are going to be on her side, so they decide to ignore her and escape on their own. They escape so easily, and probably would have been helpful to, probably have the Jedi on the ship, but they decided it wasn't important enough for them to join. So this group escapes without her. They drop the ship out of hyperspace, which conveniently lands right next to a planet. What are the odds of that? And then they take an escape pod and they escape. She decides to then save one of the other guys who has an alien parasite in him, and he thanks her by abandoning her and taking the last escape pod. So the ship then crash lands on the planet that they were right next to when they came out of hyperspace. Which we then cut back to Coruscant, which thankfully they didn't have to tell us this time, because I guess they realized that we now understand this is Coruscant. They actually caught the prisoners and then brought them back to Coruscant, and didn't decide to actually search the planet while they were there. By the way, travel time in this show is completely ignored. There is absolutely zero leeway for actually taking time to get to where we're supposed to go. Everyone just gets where they need to go immediately. Apparently hyperspace functions like instant transmission in Dragon Ball, because in the High Republic apparently there is no travel time. They just go where the fuck they want and go right back. And we cut back to Coruscant, where Sol and his Padawan are about to leave the ship, and then we get introduced to this completely, totally necessary shirtless scene. That's okay, guys, this one's for the women.
Yes, yes.
And then he says this bit right here.
I should have brought Osha in myself. I apologize
Yeah,
for my...
no shit, dude. Maybe you should have brought her back with you. Remember how I mentioned how his Padawan never shows up again? Yeah, he doesn't even bring her on this mission. She doesn't show up for the next 2 episodes. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know why the Master's not bringing his Padawan with him. Beats me. She just decided to stay at the temple, I guess. So it then cuts back to Karlak, where Osha's having a force vision of her sister, and this serves no purpose in the story. It's just basically telling you that she is, in fact, her twin sister. They do this really stupid poem that makes no sense. This just pads the runtime by an extra few minutes. That's all it's for. And keep in mind, it's only a half-an-hour episode, so they really didn't need to do this. They could have spent a lot more time on something more important. And earlier in the scene, she talked about how she has faith in the Jedi and how she's pretty sure she'll be declared innocent because, you know, she didn't do anything wrong. In all fairness, she didn't do anything wrong. She should be able to survive any kind of trial the Jedi put her through, especially when, you know, they read minds. So you'd think any sensible person who knows that she's innocent, believes the Jedi will acquit her, and has faith in the Jedi, gets stranded on a random planet, would look up, see a ship, and think, oh, cool, rescue. Not Osha. She decides to run away. But that's okay, because Sol tracks her down immediately. And as they're going through the cave, Yor ignites his lightsaber.
A Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless prepared to kill.
That's right, the 2 instances we see Jedi using their lightsabers in this show about Jedi at their peak is to deflect one set of knives and as a flashlight. His lightsaber is yellow, by the way, despite the fact that he's not a Jedi Temple Guard, so that lore is completely gone now from canon. You can just have a yellow lightsaber now. So as she's running away, Osha falls off a cliff, and then Sol saves her using the Force, and then she tells him that her sister is in fact alive.
May is alive.
And then the first episode ends with Mai going to a remote planet and meeting with her trainer, her master, who apparently is a Sith. He talks like he's Kylo Ren, and then he gives us this gem of a Sith saying.
Fuel or laser are no threat to them.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Acolyte kills without a weapon. An acolyte kills the dream.
An Acolyte kills without a weapon, proceeds to then pull out a weapon. So there you have it. That was episode 1 of The Acolyte. It was awful. Nothing made sense. They contradicted themselves. Acting was cheap. Story is stupid. Lore is broken. It's Disney Star Wars, you know? That was it for this episode. I was going to do episode 2 in the same video, but it actually took me so long to edit this one that I have to now go to work in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to process this, upload it tonight. Hopefully we'll have episode 2 out either tomorrow or Thursday. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. We'll see you all next time.